And again, hey, welcome to another episode of GZ Sports. Randy Savage, Jackson Bryan, as we come again to say, vamos.
Vamos.
Listen, and to start, firstly, it's raining very hard here. Really pouring. Firstly, Savage was on a competition. Haha. And won. Unexpectedly. I'm kidding. He trounced the opposition. Good competition on Sports Talks. Blake, my friend, have to shout him out. You know, I told him that I knew a guy who kinda knew things like me. He didn't believe me, and then he was in awe. So, yeah. Yeah, it was.
He wanted to represent GC Sports. He got it. I couldn't lose. The guy had an Arsenal shirt. I couldn't lose.
Exactly. There was no losing there, man. No losing at all, man. But enough club football. We have 1 week, exactly 7 days. Exactly how many hours is that? I don't know. 7 days until the World Cup does begin. And there are a lot to get into. There are some teams who are favourites, some teams who are dark horses. We're going to go into the teams who a lot of people think can have a win. And no, I'm never going to mention America because they're not ever relevant in football. We're going to start with a team who will not be relevant in football if they keep the coach. That's England. With Gareth Southgate in charge, England have selected a team that raised a lot of eyebrows. I mean, England have raised a lot of eyebrows with their team selection. Southgate picking 4 right backs, 1 left back, selecting Conor Gallagher over players like even Jacob Ramsey and James Ward-Prowse. Randy, I know you don't like Southgate. Many don't like Southgate. But what do you make of the team selection? We're going to go through the squad in a minute. But what do you make on the team selection?
Alright, to just put it bluntly, I'm not really too fond of the team selection. Yeah, there's some amazing players there that's based on his theory of form. He's got it dead on, right? But there's just some that he left out that I don't really understand how come. I don't really understand why. As you said, Harry Maguire, I'm not sure how he got included in the team. I guess he's an English media darling at this point, similarly with Kane. But as he said, he's left out some crucial players that I think are game winners, are tide changers, game changers. One man, or two men that I should say I'm very disappointed did not get a chance to go. Reece James and Fikayo Tomori. Tomori was snubbed. He was indeed snubbed for Maguire and Reece James. He didn't bring him despite the player apparently recovered from his injury. I'm a little bit disappointed with that. Those two had amazing seasons for the last year or so. Fikayo winning Serie A, or winning the Scudetto with AC Milan. And it's just disappointing for them overall. As you said, I don't really understand how he's gone ahead and picked some of those players. Some of those players haven't even played any matches all season. Case on point, Calvin Phillips. But I guess at this point, it's just too late to complain. Let's just see what he can do with this English team that is lacking, in my opinion. Lacking certainly, not in terms of the quality, but in terms of the managerial expertise to lead this team.
Yeah, I have to completely agree with you. I mean, as I said, we're going to go through the team. Goalkeepers, Pickford, Pope, Ramsdale. I don't think there would ever be a disagreement when it comes to the goalkeepers. When you look at the defense, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Connor Cody, he's been having a really good season, to be fair. Eric Dyer, Harry Maguire. I mean, Dyer's been in poor form. Maguire's played, I think, 2 games in the last 2 months. Luke Shaw, he's been good. Stones is just back from injury. Trippier, arguably England's best right back. Walker is not fully back from injury, but there. And Ben White, the fear is Ben White is only there because Reece James' injury came up, and he just doesn't want to pick Tomori. And I think that's a real issue for Southgate. Midfielders, Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice, obviously. Jordan Henderson, maybe. Mason Mount, Calvin Phillips, Conor Gallagher. I mean, those last 3, it's really head-scratching because they've not really been in form, any of them. And forwards, what I don't understand is why they put James Maddison's name in the forward line. I mean, Maddison is clearly a midfielder, but anyway, Maddison, Foden, Grealish, Kane. Marcus Rashford, Saka, Sterling, and Wilson. And even a snub from Ivan Toney, who I didn't want to speak about club football, but scored 2 against Man City on Saturday. There are many pieces that are missing, and the players that Southgate has selected, many of them aren't really players he uses because his formation is generally a 5-2-3. He doesn't play with an attacking midfielder like a Maddison, a Mount, or even a Foden to some extent, or a kind of Gallagher. Wouldn't it be smarter to bring up somebody who's played the whole season, who's been involved with their team? I know their team may not be playing well. I mean, I'm talking about James Ward-Prowse. He should be there. Jacob Ramsey should be there. I mean, I watched him in both games against Man United, in the Cup and in the League, and my God, he should be there. There is no doubt about Ramsey's talent and his experience now. He's probably the biggest snub I can think of. And Tomori, I mean, when he said that the younger players haven't done enough to dislodge Harry, I mean, have you watched football? Have you watched anything barring a Premier League game?
Honestly, it's just a little bit disappointing, as I said, for a lot of them, because a lot of them thought that this year might be their year to represent the Three Lions. Unfortunately, that isn't the case for many, and I suspect that we'll see many disgruntled players after the World Cup. As you said, he plays a 5-2-3 or a 5-3-2 formation.
Either way.
And some of the players don't exactly fit. But I understand him picking some of them, right? Some of them, Mount, for example. While he hasn't been had the best season so far, he still is a world-class talent. He still is a world-class youngster that has a lot to learn and a lot to prove from going to this World Cup and representing England. We have to feel for some players, as he said, though. Ivan Toney not there, Bukayo Tomori not there. Jacob Ramsey, he's been amazing, as you said, not there. And then, of course, one of the more obvious ones, Jadon Sancho. He hasn't been playing well, to be honest, so I expect it. But when you look at some of the players that he is picking, you have to wonder if this team is actually based on form, rather than just a personal preference from the manager.
Yeah, and that's the issue, because many people don't think it's based on form. I mean, clearly it isn't. For you to call up Harry Maguire and Eric Dyer, then it's not on form. For you to call up Jordan Henderson and Raheem Sterling, then it's not on form. Clearly. So some players are there because, they're mates. But, the rest, I do understand with Conor Cody, because he's been brilliant. He's been a rock for Everton. I would have really liked for Tarkowski to be there. But he's not going to do it. It's not flashy enough for Southgate,
Yeah, and I think flashiness also has a part to play in this, right? You can bring a regular player to the World Cup, or you can bring someone that's flashy and does the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure he's going to pick the one that's flashy. Tarkowski has been good. James Tarkowski has been good overall. But as you said, he isn't the flashiest of players. He's not a player that you say, I expect to get a shot of him. He's a player that you get rid of the ball when he gets it. No nonsense, just boots it up the pitch. And I don't think that's what Southgate has in mind. I think Southgate wants a defender that's calm, cool, and collected on the ball, willing to play around with it a little bit and pass the ball out on the back. I think that's what he's aiming for, and I think that's why he didn't go for Tomori or Tarkowski, as he said, because Tomori, as a player, the form, he won the Serie A last year. So far this season, he hasn't been the best, to be completely honest, but he's certainly been better. He's certainly been better than the likes of Harry Maguire.
Yeah, and that's just as true. To not have that happening, it's very, 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 do apologize about that. Very, very big problematic. But let's move on from one of the worst teams in the World Cup to one of the best. Brazil. You can start off with this. What are their chances?
Honestly, it's either they're going at least to the semi-finals, in my opinion. At the very least, the team that they have is just so well gelled together. A perfect mix of the old and the new, right? An insane talent is booing over Brazil, and they have a future to look forward to. As I said, there's insane talent, and there's also people in form. You have the likes of Neymar Jr., the PSG superstar who's been absolutely tantalizing all season long. You have the likes of Vinicius Jr., who is just another attacker. You have Gabriel Jesus, who's fired up the Premier this season. There's just so much going on for Brazil that I'd be surprised if they don't at least make the semi-finals. A top team, for sure. Certainly one of the favorites to win for me.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, for me, I think Brazil has the best squad depth at the World Cup. I mean, going through the squad now, goalkeepers Alisson, Ederson, and Weverton. Don't want to mix those up. As the goalies, defenders Marquinhos, Militao, Thiago Silva, Danilo, Alex Telles, Dani Alves, Alexandro, Gelson Bremer. For defenders, midfielders Casemiro, Fabinho, Bruno Guimaraes, Fred, Lucas Paqueta, Everton, and forward line Gabriel Martinelli, Vinicius Jr., Neymar, as he said, Anthony, Rodrigo, Rafinha, Richarlison, Pedro, and Gabriel Jesus. It's such a deep squad. You have competition everywhere. There's no nailed down starter in that team, barring possibly Casemiro and Neymar.
Look at that forward line. Every single one of those players have been amazing all season long. No misses.
Bloody brilliant. Cheetah's got two wings.
Tite has got every right to win this World Cup, and he has reason not. Honestly, it's that squad is the best World Cup squad we've seen in many years.
Yeah, you can see they left out players like even a Roberto Firmino. Look at his form. It's that good a Brazil team. It's very, very good, and it's really. It's gonna be a shocker if they don't at least make it to the last four. It's really gonna be difficult.
Yeah, honestly, it's gonna be a huge shock to me personally. Brazil have the talent, have the class, has the skill, have the experience, the experience and youth that they need to win it. It's whether or not now the manager can motivate the players, whether or not Fate would hand them any injury or not, whether or not they can take them chances, and whether or not they can live up to the occasion of the first Winter World Cup.
Exactly. I mean, I know there's gonna be air-conditioned heated stadiums, but it's still gonna be a really cold, chilly affair when you're gonna be out there for 90 minutes with the country's time on the line. And to their South American counterparts, the one who had what a great run Argentina were on. We remember, I think we reported on it when they beat our country 3-0, thanks to MESSI magic and a mistake from Lowe. Argentina go in actually a bit higher than Brazil in most people's books because of the run they've been on. This is probably going to be Lionel Messi's final World Cup if he doesn't decide to stick around for the next one. Will this be the time for Leo Messi? Will it be finally his chance at a trophy?
I'd say yes. As you know, I am a bit biased in this regard because I am an Argentina fan. But I just can't see it going any other way. I've just picked up Brazil, but I've picked them up fully knowing that if Argentina and Brazil go head to head, that Argentina is winning. The squad, amazing squad overall. But this we're not talking about the squad right now. We're talking about Messi, as you said, right? Or better yet, we're talking about Mo. This squad fights for Lionel Messi.
They die for him.
And they die for him. They fight for him. They died for him. He's the commander, and they're his soldiers. Like the Spartan legions of the past, like the Romans of the past. They will die for their leader. They listen to his every command and they will die for him. And I think that's what cuts this team above the rest. Because there's that feel to it that the team isn't only playing for themselves. They're not playing for individuals.